Well, the India story in Davos this year is one where we've seen the involvement of so many states. The point that is being made by several leaders is that invest in India is a very real option and that there are avenues where India has excelled. One of the states which is looking to promote the India experience is the state of Karnataka. They've got a very large pavilion over here in Davos, and we are delighted to have the Chief Minister, Mr. Bommai, with us. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. So my first question to you, one of the key areas that Karnataka wants to invest in or bring in investment is semiconductors. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how that promises to transform a great deal?
Yeah, semiconductor is one of the important development. Since COVID, the semiconductors all over the world has become a talking point because of the shortages. And there are very few countries manufacturing it. Now the world has opened up for semiconductors, and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has taken it on the mission mode, and he has announced a very big package as an incentive to those who come for semiconductor, because it is a product which has to be incentivized.
Right.
Then only it will be feasible. So we are also come with the policy where further incentives are there. And more than that, Karnataka being a very, very tech savvy and tech human manpower,
Right.
it is a natural attraction for the people who are in semiconductors
Right.
to come to Karnataka. And way back, about 3-4 years back, when we had a semiconductor policy.
Right.
And we have been very keen in manufacturing semiconductor, and we have got 2-3 public sectors who are there in related manufacturing related items in semiconductors, like BL and HL and all those people.
Sure.
So there is an ecosystem already prevailing.
Right.
Therefore, a lot of people are talking to us.
Well, the issue of the IT sector is so very important. It's been an area of traditional success for Karnataka. But along with IT comes the need for infrastructure development in cities like Bengaluru. Is that a concern for yours? Because the argument at one level is that infrastructure is saturated, the city is saturated, and yet you want to bring in more talent. So how is that a big focal point of yours?
See, IT sector, you can't imagine Indian IT growing without Bangalore.
Exactly.
For the sake of India, Bangalore has to take the lead, the position which it is. And for the sake of Karnataka too. So, see, certainly Bangalore was not really very well planned. So there are some issues, I don't deny that. But it is not as big as it has been made of, basically. And it can be fixed, number one. And secondly, we are planning out of Bangalore. Beyond Bangalore is our slogan. And now a lot of IT sectors are coming beyond Bangalore. And some of them are just outskirts of Bangalore.
Right.
See, now the issues which they have been raked up is in 2-3 residential areas where it is converted into IT hub.
Yeah.
So the residential needs and IT needs have been now at crossheads.
Right.
But here we have got a plan where near the airport and surrounding places, about 40-50 kilometers from Bangalore, we are developing hardware and software parks. And lot of private people are also investing in IT parks.
Right.
So there is a huge space and huge facility for anybody to come. That's why for last 4 quarters, we are the number 1 FDI investment,
Right.
and especially in IT, hardware and software.
Right.
So that itself shows
Yeah.
that the real picture is that there is enough infrastructure in place, little away from the Bangalore, and people are ready to come there.
Right.
A lot of international companies have come there,
Sure.
and is going to come and is continue to come.
Right.
The way the response is from day to day, and in not only in IT/BT, in startups,
Right.
we are the leaders. In biotech,
Right.
we are the leaders.
Right.
In renewable energy, we
Right.
are the leaders.
Right.
In EV, it's going to be a EV vehicle manufacturing hub. So the saga of technical driven economic growth in all these fields will continue, and of course, as a responsible government, we will fix up the problems.
Aerospace is another area of excellence, but again, even within the government, there have been talks of taking away Aero India from Karnataka, moving it to other parts. And I know there's been this discussion back and forth, but I can't imagine Aero India without Yelahanka, which is why I'm curious.
I know. Yelahanka has been like a mother for all aero shows.
Yeah.
And with all facilities fixed.
And business.
And I want aero air show to be a permanent feature in Bangalore, in Yelahanka.
Yeah.
That is our real need.
Right.
And our demand also.
Right.
But the aerospace has also grown in many folds.
Yes.
There are a lot of R&Ds in aerospace, in defense sector,
Yes.
in government of India sector, as well as in private sectors.
Yeah.
So aerospace is a very niche area, and we have got aerospace park also,
Yes.
especially, and a lot of investment is also coming there. We are coming out.
But is this a battle within the government, between you and this? Because the centre wants, for example, UP to develop more, Gujarat to develop more, shift it out.
It is aero show is more of a defense.
Right.
So they want to showcase defense in different places in different times. That is the issue.
Right.
There is nothing more than that.
Right.
But we have moved ahead of aero show.
Right, of course.
We have moved ahead of aero shows.
Right.
And a lot of international players are already come, settled, and a lot of exports from Bangalore going all over the country, including one of the prestigious companies.
Right.
So we are very well grounded as far as aero shows are. I mean, air show is concerned as well as aerospace is concerned.
Right. So one final question. You're here in Davos, you're looking to bring in investment, and yet the headlines back home in Karnataka have to do off late with this conversion bill, the anti-conversion bill and all. Does that affect, the message that you're trying to sell here?
It is nothing to do with investments, nothing to do with growth story. See, I'm telling you, for the last 4 quarters, a lot of other issues, domestic issues are there. You tell me which state doesn't have domestic issues, one way or the other. But the confidence of the investor, both outside the country and inside the country, is so huge that it is nothing to do that. And these are the laws which come, and it will have a scrutiny of courts also. And these are the issues, domestic issues which have been raised up. We have to tackle them also.
Right.
So that is also our responsibility. However, these things are never going to affect the growth story.
Right. And so inflation, the government has taken some important steps, for example, fuel and diesel. There's been a decision by the centre. Now, is that something that you can add to in Karnataka? Are you considering that? It'll bring relief to millions in the state.
See, after GST coming, states' options are now limited. Therefore, we have to look into our resource mobilization, our financial condition before we venture out.
So nothing further that you can look at this stage?
I'm looking at it very closely.
One final question, sir. There are global headwinds now. I mean, whether it's the war in Ukraine or, food prices increasing internationally. How much is that impacting the growth story, say, in Karnataka? I know it is at the India level, all countries are being affected. Is this a worry also as you try and sell the Karnataka story worldwide?
See, this food scarcity is at present, it is a few country specific, which can be tackled with this globalization. But a long-term food security policy is necessary for the globe, because the land is shrinking, the people dependence on the land is increasing. So we have to save the land, the soil, the natural resources.
Right.
And we have to bring more productivity, more yield crops, and very less harmful insecticides. Planning it properly is a long-term issue which you have to tackle. It is not only the governments, it is the society has to do it. And Karnataka has been doing it because we have got 10 agroclimatic zones which no state has. So we've been tackling these issues. And as far as Karnataka is concerned, we have been growing most of this thing which is self-sufficient, but this is not Karnataka issue. It is an entire global issue, not even Indian issue.
Absolutely.
So it has to be tackled in that way.
Well, it's a good speaking to you. Thank you so much. And I hope, there is more investment, and I hope that the Karnataka story, which has been dominant in Davos for so many years, continues. I'm sure it will.
See, I am a very optimistic person, very hopeful. Here, after coming to Davos, I was speaking to a lot of people who have invested. I am going to invest. I am not only hopeful, I am very confident
Right.
that much more is going to come, and we are going to have a global investor meet in November, and that will be a very, very, very big ticket event,
right.
and looking forward for not only in terms of investment, in terms of finances, but in terms of technology.
Sure. That should be great. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.